was built by King Louis XIV, otherwise known as the French Sun King. And King Louis XIV, he was the first person who managed to bring the Alsace into the French kingdom, because the Alsace is this. What is the Alsace? The Alsace is the flat land between the Rhine River and over there the French Vosges Mountains, the flat land in 170 kilometers stripe. And that was constantly handed over between Germany and France. I do not repeat the whole history here. But the first person who brought the Alsace into the French kingdom was King Louis XIV. And when King Louis XIV had the Alsace in his hands, he must have stood here somewhere on the field and looking over the Rhine River, looking at Breisach. And he wanted to have the town in Breisach. But back then, in 1680, there was a very strong, powerful dynasty in power of Breisach, the Habsburg dynasty, nowadays known as the Austrians. Marie Antoinette, she was a member of the Habsburg. But anyway, King Louis XIV managed to come over the Habsburg, but only for a couple of years, about 3 years. And then by a treaty, Habsburg pushed him back on this side. And so he built his own town beside the River Rhine. And then he knew that if he's not careful, Habsburg come over and take Neuf-Brisach away from him. And so he asked his Minister for Military Architecture, Sebastian Vauban, to create a suitable fortification around the town. And this is a UNESCO World Heritage site here, because those massive walls, when you look, you can see that, when you look from above, you have the exact star shape around the town. Because they pulled so many mosquitoes, and it pulled malaria. And so they dried it out in the 1700s, and so. But anyhow, this was breached by foot soldiers. And there you can see something here underneath. Parts of the Maginot Line have been used as a part, of the Neuf-Brisach have been used as a part of the Maginot Line. Some of you have heard about Maginot Line. And so it was not built as a...
Hello. Well, in Germany, McDonald's is there. Salmon stairs up here.
Because we are here in a volcanic area. And now we have a special mentality here. And that is good to know, especially if you stroll around on your own. And the mentality here of the state of Baden-Württemberg, it's always good to know about mentalities of a region. I do not mean from a country, I mean from a region, yeah? And the mentality here is very thinking. That means some of you this afternoon passed me and you said to me, "Good afternoon, how are you?" And that is a very kind way of you to say good afternoon, correct? Yeah. To us, that can be rude if you do that. If you he's coming this way. So if you pass me, if you say to me, "Good afternoon, how are you?" and you do not stop and wait for 3 hours until I have told you how I am, and unless I have told you that my hamster had last night surgery, first of all, you will not get an answer. You can try that. You hardly get an answer for the question, how are you? People don't like that. People stay away from asking each other, how are you? We only ask each other if we really would like to know, or if we have the time, and even then we are very careful with asking people how they are. It's really, we never consider somebody a friend if it's not lifelong or very deep and we know everything about this person. Otherwise we say it's an acquaintance. And if you do not know that, you find probably the locals here unfriendly. What can be for some people also quite threatening, when people speak to you, they look in your eyes, very intense, and that can be for some people threatening. And so, because it's a very deep thinking mentality. Yeah? And so,
The vines, grapevines. This is school.
I can't hear you.
This is school.
I don't know.
when you say in Heidelberg, the Swiss people, they do not say Küchenschrank, they say very back in the throat. And recently I met a Swiss colleague. We like to work with each other. She's Swiss and she speaks Swiss Alemannic and I German Alemannic. And she said to me, we have so much fun, because she said to me, "I know, Nanette, Swiss Alemannic is not a language, it's a throat disease." I was allowed to say that, yeah, so we still have fun. And so with this, then Alsatian people, you would expect, because Alsace is since 1945 French, now the Alsatians older than 55, who would like to be called Alsatians, they speak, you have to allow me to swear, it translates easy in French. When you swear in French, you can say, for example, tant pis, because they're a little bit annoyed, or merde. which is very rude. Yeah, Nacht. Yeah. But the Alsatians, they do not say Nacht. They say, if you say the following content, you are annoyed by your father because he always wears house shoes in the garden. Yeah, that's the content. In English, you say something like, oh no, my father is wearing house shoes in the garden again. Yeah? In High German, listen to the speech melody. In High German, oh nein, mein Vater trägt schon wieder die Hausschuhe im Garten. That's High German. I'm authentic. I really like that.
So literally.
Echt soll das der Ausweis.
Over there on the right side, not so much here on them. The most interesting part is here. You can see the Minster. This is where I'm going now. This is the marketplace. And if you would like to have a recommendation, if you would like to, as you know it from your country, yeah, because it's a chocolate sponge laced with a speciality from here in the Black Forest, and that's cherry water, which is cherry schnapps. It's a speciality that's laced. Then you have a shift of whipped cream, chocolate sponge, jelly, etc. Yeah, in layers, and decorated with chocolate rasps. And the reason why it's not sweet, we never use milk chocolate, only dark chocolate for the sponge and the rasps. We never mix sugar in the whipped cream. That's the pure mild taste of the whipped cream. And we never ever use sweet cherries, only sour cherries. And the mixture of bitter, sweet, sour makes the typical Black Forest Hellenic taste here of the Black Forest cake. You will get them here in this little cafe, but here it's too sweet for me because they use cheap chocolate rasps. Yeah, I don't want to they have a nice coffee here, but when you like the thing is they do not, they have no opportunity to use credit card just for you. Guests who leave me, when you are here at the marketplace, you'll walk the same way back after me. And for the others, I will start the tour now, and I will end here at the marketplace.
Doing the castle, right? We're doing the church? Yeah.
A nice souvenir shop is where I'm walking now. If you walk with me out again, yeah?
This is all refill Tetrapole Saigon.
There's a very good wine grows. They also offer you some, if you buy some wine. Yes? Oh, sorry, yes. That's a good point. So I will go back. This is where you will meet me over there, where I have the restaurants also, and in the middle of the Rhine River, 2 roads. And then they have started to decide to start to build the town on those hills. I had live feet, yeah. And further, this is the souvenir shop to your left side where it says Car Cafe, but without me. That is the living hill where we will stay in a couple of minutes. That's the picture. And over there, if you turn around, you can see the square-shaped tree where the European flag is waving from. Yeah, that was the fortification hill. And now what I tell you, before the Rhine River was straightened, the Rhine surrounded the 2 hills, the fortification hill and the living hill. They were in the middle of the Rhine River. And this is what you can still see. Normally now the Rhine River today is, when you go down this road here, you can see the ships here. This is where the Rhine is today. But the Rhine River has been moved in the 1800s and straightened, yeah, by the German hydroengineer near Tula. And here you can see that the wall on the right side here, where we are now on this side. And you can see the former watermarks of the former Rhine River, the old moss. That is the old former Rhine River bed before it was moved over there. So from above, you will see that even a little bit better. So, but before the Rhine River was straightened, it went through here, the 2 hills, and step on the road here. But here you see the rocks. A little bit further down, I show you. When the Rhine was falling, the water came up to those rocks. This is a flooding Rhine River. And the normal grass you can see at the wall.